Hi guys, Chox here, and welcome back to the cake decorating playlist. Today I am doing something crazy. I am going to attempt to make PieCakeIn. So thank you to Jorge for the great suggestion. Let's get this going and see how it turns out. So a PieCakeIn is when, or bake a pie into a cake. So I've got some pie plates, I've got my cake out. It'll make different sizes of pan and stuff that it goes in. So I have some cake pans out. I'm trying to see. The picture, it was like an 8-inch cake in a 9-inch round, but I've got mini pies. So I'm gonna have a little look around and see how I can stack things up. But I've got all these out to check it out and see how it'll go. I will get back to you when I have decided what I'm going to bake it all in. Alright, so I've decided I'm going to do a butter pecan with a blueberry pie and a devil's food chocolate with a cherry pie. And I found these 9-inch rounds that hold 3 mini pies just perfectly. But I don't know how much of this cake mix is going to fit in here. So I have a backup plan. I'm just going to put the remainder in there and then bake it at the end. So I'm going to beat up my cake mix. And then I think I'm going to flip these guys over like that, because when I decorate it, I'm going to flip it so it's the flat side up. And I'll take you with me as I try to get the cake mix, the batter, in here around the pies. It should be interesting. Okay, so I've mixed the batter up as per the instructions on the box of the cake. And now I've got these little pies here. And when we ice cakes, we do it on the flat side. So I do it on the bottom side of it. So I am going to take these out and flip them, and flip them over and set them in. But first, I'm going to pour a little bit of cake batter in there, just to give it a bit of space between the pie and the bottom / top of the cake. I'm going to spread that around a little bit. Now I think because of the amount of volume that each little pie has, I'm going to have extra cake. So I've got a container on the side and I'm just going to, I guess, mix them together at the end. We'll figure that one out as we come to it. It's a very good idea to take the plate off because you don't want anybody biting into that. Then just how I was sizing it up before, I'm just going to plunk these little guys in here. Oops. Now initially when this idea was brought up to me, it was with a big 8-inch pie. But all I have available are these little guys. So that's what we're using. You want the crust to already be baked. You don't want raw pie in there. So I'm just going to cover over each one, being very careful not to fill the cake pan up too high because I don't want it to spill over in my oven. So I'll give that a second to kind of space itself out a little bit. I think that might be good. The cake is going to have a bit of lift. I've never done this before. And see those 3 little bloops in there? Sure you can too. Yep. So I'm going to pop this in the oven. I think the box says 350 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. This is the strangest cake I've ever made, I think. Okay, so we're 10 minutes in and this is rising like crazy. Maybe it'll drop a little bit if I wiggle the oven. It's just a toaster oven. Okay, so here is the first one out of the oven. I think I may have overbaked it just a little bit because when I was checking on it, where those little pies are, it's like super hot lava jelly in there. So I don't want to break the pie crust. I have a feeling this is going to take a long time to cool off because these little pies are like, oh, I don't want to set it down, super duper lava heat conductors in there. So I'm just going to leave that alone. I'm not going to try to take it out. I sprayed the pan. It's nice and easy for me to get it out of there. Now I'm going to load up the other plate I just showed you with 3 cherry pies and chocolate cake. I'm going to put another layer at the bottom. Spread that all around. Okay, so I'm going to flip these little pies over again and just place them in there. I'm going to put in a little bit less than I did last time of the cake mix because it came up really high when it was in the oven. I was very worried. I want each of these pies to be fully engulfed in cake though. They look like 3 little lumps. Oh, this is hilarious. Alright, let that settle a little bit. Alright, now I'll pop this in the oven and show you what they look like once they've cooled off. This has been a very long process. There's a lot of baking going on. It's so exciting. Okay, so at the end of the baking day, I have 3 very distinctly different looking cakes. Look at how caved in that is, where the 3 little pies are. That's the pecan one, I think. This is chocolate. And you can really see the indent of the pie things here. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to cut a corner out to triangle out, and I'm going to layer it out and then fill this little area. Because there's, I don't know, a good 1/4 inch there. It looks just really weird. I'm going to leave this to chill overnight, and we're going to do the icing on it tomorrow. So it is the next day, and I've had these cakes chilling. I have made some cream cheese spice icing there to ice them with. And it's come to my attention that they are quite heavy. So instead of using a cake board, I am going to be using the top of a bowl, like a bowl lid, because it's sturdy enough. So I've got the chocolate and cherry pie cake here. I have the spice cake and blueberry pie cake here. I'm going to try to put the blueberry on the bottom. I've kind of filled it in with other scrap pieces of cake because it was quite indented. And so yeah, I'm going to flip it, stack it, put some frosting all around it. I have something sassy to write on top of it. And yeah, that should be pretty much it. Okay, so I want the blueberry one on the bottom. This is going to be pretty easy. I'm going to center that in and then flip it over. Okay, so I flipped this over. This is just going to pop out. You can kind of see where the pies are in there. So I'm just going to put a quick layer of icing around the outside just to give it a bit of a filling. Try to get the second one here out of the dish and on top. Uh-oh. Gonna work around the edges a little bit. Oh, this is disastered. PieCakeIn. So much fun. I was afraid to take these out of the things while they were still warm because I didn't want it to spill all over the place. Woohoo! There we go. You can kind of see where it is up there. We got a big crumb mess going on. So I'm just going to clean this up and then do a flat icing on this. Okay, so I've got my cake stacked, but it's starting to crack and fall apart. So I'm just going to use some icing to kind of glue it together. And hopefully that'll be okay. A trick too when you're doing your crumb coat is try not to lift your palette knife up so you won't get as many crumbs in there. This is going to be interesting. So because the big part of this cake is the wow factor on the inside, hiding the pie in there, I'm just going to do basic decoration. I just want to gently bring that icing out to the edges without trying to knock too many of the crumbs off. And I'm going to do the sides. I just have some on there, and I'm just going to kind of press it and move it back and forth. Just a little wiggle. Ah, that one just kind of fell right apart on me. So at this point, I'm just going to kind of like cover that gap with a big gob of icing. Because the crumb coat is what it's going to be. Okay, we're almost done putting icing on the sides. A messy job with all that pie in there. It definitely made it harder on the cake. But it's going to be very interesting. This cream cheese frosting is smelling so good. And I got a little bubble going on there, so I'm just going to fix it with the piping bag. Hopefully this icing will work like glue to keep everything together until I can present this. Alright, that's about as done as it's going to be, because if I play with it anymore, it's going to crumble all out. So there's enough icing left. I think I can do a quick border around the edge here. Yay! Get this thing looking a little bit more like a real birthday cake. Oh my goodness. Just enough. There we go. Nice little borders on there. Okay, so in my family, when you're pulling a cake like this, a PieCakeIn, it wouldn't be a happy birthday greeting without some punny sarcasm in there. This is going to be great.
I couldn't help myself.
That sharp and punny. I can't believe I just did that on a cake. So there we go. Happy birthday, JT Bear. Here is a PieCakeIn. Now we're going to have to cut it open and see how it serves. Gotta love a good inside joke as well.
I don't even know where the pies are in this.
I don't either.
Center-ish. So vicious. Survey says
PieCakeIn. Oh my gosh, how much does that piece of cake weigh?
a bit. Thank you for PieCakeIn.
Oh my gosh, you're welcome. That is crazy. Okay, so here is PieCakeIn. It's cake with pie baked in the middle of it. On the bottom layer, there's a spice cake with a blueberry pie. On the top layer is a chocolate cake with a cherry pie. It's pretty interesting. It's served up quite nicely. It's holding up. I'm gonna have a taste. Okay, so 2 days of cake adventuring later. There we go, up close and personal. Let's have a taste of this. Crazy. All right. Oh, here goes nothing. Well, that is definitely weird. This is a great cake. This is a good pranking cake. This is a good anytime cake. This is interesting. You definitely should try it at least once, if not twice. I just used the mini pies this time. I may try this again with a full-size pie and see how that works out. But it's definitely interesting. It made for a very interesting birthday cake, and I'm happy I tried it. I'm actually looking forward to finishing off this piece. It's a little weird, but I like it. Alright, you guys, I'm Chox. Thank you so much for hanging out here with me in the cake decorating playlist. Click one of these boxes around my head and it'll take you to the playlist, to other cake decorating videos, and maybe something random around the channel. Please feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you next time in the cake decorating playlist. Have fun in the kitchen. Bye!